Hello, my lovelies. It's me, Scotia Cooley, back again with the Autism Acceptance Month video. Now, I know it is me first, but this is an exception because this might be the last one I do unless you guys want to see more of me doing this crazy stuff. Anyways, I had no inspiration, or I didn't really think of much to do for this possibly final video. So I asked some of my lovely friends on social media to give me some questions for me to answer. So it's basically kind of like an autism Q&A. Okay, so I am just going to jump right in. And a friend of mine, Caitlin, asked me a few questions. One of them is, do you personally feel like you're different than anybody else? Obviously. Of course I feel different from everybody else. Everybody's different. And I know I am different because of my autism and because of my personality and everything like that. So, yeah, of course I feel different, but it's a good difference in my opinion. And then she asked me a question, but another friend asked me a question that was kind of similar to it, so I'm going to combine the two. And that is, do you feel understood and do you feel accepted, or not as much as anybody else? Most of the time I do feel accepted. I'm accepted at work. I'm accepted by, my friends and my family and even online. And I think it's just like if I'm in a group and I know absolutely no one, it could vary. It could be different, I don't know, but most of the time I do feel accepted by, everybody and all that, so. Yeah. And then my friend Haley asked me quite a few questions. One of them is, do you feel your parents support your needs? I feel like that they do. I mean, they support my autism needs. They supported me in school and stuff like that. They supported my clubs, everything. So, yeah, I think they do support my needs. Then she asked me, Haley, again, asked me, what age were you diagnosed with autism? I did mention this in my first video, but I'll say it again. I was diagnosed roughly between 18 months and 2 years old, so that's kind of where my autism life started. Then she asked if I feel limited. Not really. Again, it just depends on the situation, but most of the time I don't really feel that limited. Then she said, what is the most annoying thing that someone has ever said regarding her autism? Somebody actually commented on when I posted the link to my first video on this community that I'm in. This person was like, are you really autistic? What are your symptoms? Like, does autism have symptoms? Really? I mean, most people would just tell me I don't look autistic or whatever, and I'm like, well, okay. Thanks. I don't know. So that's all from her. Now, another friend, Jo, she has quite a bit of questions, but they're kind of more, I don't know how to describe it, actually. So Jo's first question is, how hard is it to learn what's socially okay and what's not okay? Did people let you know when you didn't get it, or were they nice? I think people were usually nice to me about it. Like, if I didn't get something, they'd usually try to explain it to me. And I'm still a little bad with sarcasm and understanding if people are messing around with me, which I'm trying to get better at. And socially, I am also trying to get better at it. I'm really trying hard. I'm trying so hard not to talk about my boyfriend so much, and I promise when I see you girls, I will try my hardest not to talk about my boyfriend so much. I'll try so hard. Because I know it annoys people. But I can't help it. I can't help about talk things that I like, but I know I gotta get better. Then Jo asked, what do you think you've learned about yourself in, say, the last 5 years? What are some of the things that you've learned about you? Well, I was able to graduate high school perfectly fine. I'm accepted for who I am, physically and mentally and all that. And I mean, I've been dating my boyfriend now for like 2 years already, and I still can't believe he's still with me. I'm serious, I honestly think it's still crazy. But, I'm able to finally find love, and I'm beginning to understand what love is, like truly is. I think I've become a lot more social, especially in the anime club, because that is the one club that I'm totally the most social in. I don't know. Those are just a few things, honestly. This is also going to be like a 2-in-1, since I think they roughly talk about the same thing. Do you find it hard or easy to understand other people's emotions, and do you understand your own emotions? I think I can understand my own emotions easily. And with other people, I think it's a little difficult with body language. Otherwise, I can tell if somebody's, upset or pretty happy. Something like that. So, I think so. And then she asked, what school subjects came easy for you and which ones challenged you? If we're talking about the academics, I'd say English was probably my strongest, if I must say that, or math. And I think history and science fell a little bit, firstly. But, of course, all the music classes are easy for me. But now my stepmom asked me a question, which I thought was really nice of her, since she's actually worked with special needs kids before, so she understands this cute little soul very well. So she asked, when you feel overwhelmed, what has helped you? Definitely listening to music. Definitely that. Watching anime or reading manga sometimes. I like to make videos when I'm at home, like this, or little lip syncing videos and doing cosplays and stuff like that. Also talking to people is a really great coping mechanism, I think. So, definitely those. And then my friend Caitlin's sister Katrina asked, do you feel excluded from groups because of your autism? I think that kind of it's kind of the same thing as the limited one that Haley asked me, and I don't feel excluded all the time, so. And I don't think it's just because I have autism. It's probably because I'm a weirdo. And then Joe asked me one more question, which I forgot to look at. What are some things that you feel you have to work on harder than the average person? Again, understanding body language. I think I also have to work on not being loud, because I can shout and project. Not get too overwhelmed, especially at work, which already happened. Yes, I cried on the job, but I was already overwhelmed, and I know it technically wasn't okay, the last one was my fault, but the ones before weren't. I don't know. Yeah, those are the only things I can think of at the spot. Then my aunt asked me a couple of things. She asked, does autism run in families? And my father comments, no, it walks. I think autism is hereditary, so I could have an actual baby that could be worse than me. It could be possible. And so I think it could. Then she asked me, what kind of autism do you have? Where are you on the spectrum? And why do you think more and more people are being diagnosed? I honestly don't know why more people are being diagnosed, to be honest. But my diagnosis is PDD-NOS, persuasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. And I'm technically high functioning, but when I went to a specialist, a therapist, he told me I was like off. So yeah. And then an old friend of mine, Kate, asked me, is autism hard to deal with? It can and it can't. It just depends on how you look at it. You can look at it as a bad thing, or you can look at it as a good way. There can be an in-between, but I don't think my autism's that difficult to deal with, but autism in general, it's just how you people deal with it. And then my one of my old teachers asked me, what would you say to a kid who is just understanding that they have autism, or just told they were diagnosed? Don't be afraid to be different, because being different is great. Just be yourself, and everybody will love you. You will be accepted for who you are, and just do your best in the world. And fight, fight, fight. Don't fight too much. An old friend of mine, Colleen, said, what has been the hardest obstacle for you? Probably socializing. And maybe keeping up with school, but I think socializing was definitely one of them. Now this one wasn't a question, but I do want to read this out loud. Joe's granddaughter commented, they have covered a lot of questions, but I just wanted to say I'm super proud of you for being open and willing to make these videos. And I honestly have to thank you, because I'm honestly happy that I can even do this. And of course I'm willing to let you guys know about all this, so. And last but not least, my boyfriend asked me a few questions I'm happy to answer. The first one he asked is, what parts of your life does autism affect most? I think pretty much your whole life. Autism can affect your whole life. You know, it can affect everything. I mean, it affected me when I was younger, it affected me now, and I'm sure it's going to affect me in the future, so. What is some advice for younger people with autism? Again, don't be afraid to be yourself. You are going to be loved in the future. And just don't try to cause too much trouble. That's all I asked. Then he asked, do you think there will one day be a cure for autism? I don't necessarily think there will be a cure. But I know that one day it will be fully accepted. And they actually just mentioned on the news that there's going to be a new study for autism so that you can find the diagnosis easier, so. But I don't think I'll ever be cured, and I'll never be cured, and I'm okay with that. And then the final question is, do you ever feel like autism gets in the way of living a normal life? Yes, it does, and it will. Like I said, if I get pregnant, my child could be worse than me, and that scares me. But I am willing to adopt, and I would love kids in the future, and I hope to get married, and I hope to live a normal life. Yet it scares me, because I feel like that if I'm going to be by myself, I don't know what to do. I won't know where to go. And it's going to scare me, but I gotta try. So, so this is the end of this video. And I want to thank you guys again so much for supporting me during April month. And I want you guys to let me know on your thoughts about this. And if you have any more questions for me or anything like that, please comment down below. Make sure you hit the like buttons. That'll help me out a lot. And please hit subscribe for more of this crazy content. And I'll see you lovelies in the next video. Sayonara!